this pick, when they've grabbed it, it will go to Kvalifar. But if there is something that you've been practicing, if there's something you've been keeping away from opponents, now is the time to pull it out if you are these two teams. Now is the time where you cannot hold anything back.
This is absolutely the time to bring out any pocket picks, any aces up the sleeves for these two teams. Arden will be the lock-in for G2 Esports here. That's going to be going over to the likes of Keanu Nakoa. And now for the final pick, G2. They're going to lock in the Saw. This is going to be an interesting one.
This is going to be a very strong composition as well. All out on the early game. You have so much pressure coming out from both Saw and Rhyme. They can apply it in both the lane and the jungle, and that's a traditional composition where you pressure both points on the map and then your opponents can't respond to either.
Yeah, it's a traditional composition, but it's kind of the opposite from the traditional playstyle of this team specifically. This is an epitome of the evolution we've seen of G2 over the course of the season.
It's also a very smart draft because what's the pick that's generally been seen as the counter to Saw? It's a Celeste, and there's not much of a chance of Celeste coming through for SK Gaming because that would then put either the Petal in the lane with a double Crystal composition or Tyra's playing the Celeste, which is something that we have not seen at all. So it's a very smart pick from G2 just because it puts so much pressure onto SK, and with their final pick, they are going to grab that Kestrel. So it's likely to be the Petal in the jungle with the weapon Kestrel up in the lane.
Yeah, I was expecting that to come through just because at that point they needed to play the Petal in the jungle. They can't go weapon power battle against the Saw. They will just get destroyed super hard. So they had two choices. They either play the Petal in lane and then pick up a jungle Celeste, and that could counter the Saw, or what they did, which is pick up the Kestrel who can wave clear versus the Saw. We talked to DNZO even yesterday in the interview, and he was saying how much her Glimmer shots help her survive the early game because she can wave clear very easily.
Yeah, you can just clear those minions so that you can't get sieged on yourself. How are we feeling about the compositions then? It feels like G2 have to be the ones being proactive in this early game.
Very much so. The Saw needs to get an early lead, which is what he excels at, and then Rhyme needs to be pressuring this jungle, needs to be trying to get an early lead for himself as well so they can start pushing those turrets.
Absolutely. We'll see if they can get those early leads. What's the counterplay, though, coming out from SK? What do they need to do to match their win conditions?
I mean, they're just going to need to stall out for as long as they can. Even might have to forfeit the first turret because usually you're definitely going to lose that first turret to Saw at some point in the game. So instead of giving kills on top of the turret, you just want to forfeit. You just try to hold it for as long as possible, but then when you're about to lose it, let it go. Help your jungler get ahead of Rhyme if possible by focusing on the jungle himself instead of coming up and helping the lane. That's the counterplay. And then using the ladder sustain very effectively could be another one.
Yeah, it's also going to be really interesting to see how exactly G2 try and pressure that first turret. We've seen teams try and put all three members in the lane to take that turret as early as possible. And if they do that, then like you said, the counterplay to it is just you have your jungler go clear out the entirety of the jungle and just defend as best as you can with just two members. We've seen other teams do this and work very well, but if G2 are only pressuring with two, all of a sudden it becomes a lot more difficult.
And that's why this composition is so dangerous, is because it can do that strategy where you apply the pressure in lane with only the Saw and the Arden, and then Rhyme on his own goes and invades the jungle. The only thing is that he's going to be going up against the CP Petal, which technically in that matchup, it can go either way. So it's going to be about the skill of these two players, Dark Potato and Tyrus.
Yeah, it's going to be such an incredible matchup on all three roles as well. It's about time that we start to get on into this game, though. This is SK Gaming against G2 Esports. Please get on Twitter, tweet this game out. This is going to be the premium EU matchup of the entire season, of the entire year, I think. This is going to be an incredible matchup. Get involved. Hashtag Vainglory8. Let us know who you are supporting. You can support both these teams in-game as well. It's time to pass it over to our casters. It's Jaws and Sean Orsino to take it away.
Thank you very much, Munch. And not understated in the slightest. G2 and SK, this game, this series decides the world spot near enough. If SK win, they get a 2-0 here, Sean. They go straight to Worlds. If G2 win, they've still got another hurdle to climb, and that's going to be the finals, and it all comes down to the points in that regard. We're going to jump straight onto the fold. G2 on the blue, SK, they're over on the red.
Yeah, Josh, just like what you were talking about. Right now, SK still in the lead. They have only 3 points separating these two titans right now. If SK just wins this series, they're going to be secured for their world spot in Singapore. But of course, and it looks like that Elder Treant's actually going over to Hundor there for G2. Good start for them, but if G2 crushes them in this series and takes SK out, even with of course with a 2-0, then it's going to make things a lot more difficult for SK to be able to make it there. And there's a lot of tiebreaker stuff that they were mentioning on the desk, and we'll probably hear more about it later on. But this is going to be an exciting series.
Yeah, that it is. And with the Cavalifar coming up into the lane against Hundor, not unfortunately on the Celeste, I'm not going to lie, Celeste obviously being one of his premier picks, it's always exciting to see him on it, but this Saw is going to push turret pretty quickly, and it's got so much protection as well coming through from Keanu, just being that massive front line that he needs. Now, Hegman and Cavalifar up in this lane. Do you think that's where they're going to permanently sit, just harassing Hundor down? Because Saw does what Saw does best, and that is push turrets and push turrets quickly.
He pushes turrets, he pushes objectives really quickly, but Kestrel is a force to be reckoned with too here, and if Kestrel is allowed to scale to late game, she can get some really good damage, of course, with her Glimmer shots, getting a Sorrow Blade, double Tyrant's Monocle, maybe even a Tornado trigger in there as well. But Keanu Nakoa is really doing a good job so far, which is he's providing that protection, that extra barrier that Hundor needs to stay alive and mobile on this Saw, because we know Saw is very, very immobile. And it looks like Hegman and him are poking at each other right now.
Yeah, he wants to go back. He actually has 1,400 goals, so really wants to be able to shop at this point, but is forced to actually clear out the wave. So pretty smart of Hegman to actually disrupt Hundor's back there, just prevents him from getting the priority in the lane, and Cavalifar is going to get just that as he clears these last couple of minions out. However, Keanu is back in the lane as well, so it looks like an extended laning phase for G2 as the next wave does roll on about. Jungle is very quiet here, and so are captains. Remember yesterday we had a captain fiesta of stealing every single global objective that was possible, but Dark Potato and Tyrus just battling over this Elder Treant. Dark Potato has a level lead, however.
He does. He's up one level over Tyrus, and that's something we're going to have to watch here too. We're going to have to watch these jungle engages, and here we go.
Oh, it's going to get taken. Tyrus actually secures it. Hundor did rotate his way down to the lane, to the Elder Treant as well. Tyrus chasing, and Hegman putting on a lot of pressure. Leaves Cavalifar with a lot of time, but Tyrus in a lot of trouble now as Keanu and Hundor end up jumping on him with that suppressing fire, but they're back off nonetheless, playing it low and slow for the first few minutes of the game.
That's a really interesting interaction that we have here between Tyrus and Hundor on this Saw, is that once Saw gets his suppressing fire down, if Tyrus is running at him with those minions are going to get deleted. And if you have minions deleted, that drastically reduces the damage output coming out of a petal like this, especially a CP petal nonetheless. Dark Potato across the board, he's going to have to be diving in and doing a lot of harass and poke. We know that Rhyme can do that, especially with his fortified health that he's able to build up. Looks like we're going to be building towards a Shattered Glass, the typical first item for Rhyme. And same thing for Tyrus. He's going to have to be building a Shattered Glass as well. Once he does that, that's going to give some really good tankiness to his minions, and it's going to increase the damage output as well from those minions.
And well, he's got a few crystal bits, only a couple in his inventory, so he's more than looking for some early damage. Dark Potato up in the lane, however, he's level 5, no Valkyrie available just yet, but the engage potential is always there for G2. Hegman with the sustain. I've got a feeling this is going to be one of the breaking points in this game, because Hundor does love to push these turrets, but Hegman's just so durable. And speaking of durable, hang on a second, because that's going to be first blow going straight over to Tyrus as he makes his way towards the lane. Backing off, though, that sigil being used, but Dark Potato and Keanu are going to be able to chase him down. Keanu finds the first blood for G2. 1-for-1 trade so far, but SK, they've cornered G2 here, backing them off into their own jungle. They're going to beat that Crystal Sentry if they're not careful here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to steal away some of that farm. A little bit of the counter jungling, as they lost the first blood there. But really smart move in that team fight from Tyrus by ganking Hundor while he was in that mustache bush.
They might still be in trouble here. Yeah, Hegman and Cavalifar are chasing Dark Potato up. He's going extremely low. The sigil not quite finding the kill, and Hegman gets a couple of basic attacks off and secures it in the end just with his passive. Tyrus going extremely low as Hundor actually was pushing him up in the lane, but now using that roadie run to get a bit of distance. But SK still come out on top with the 2 kills over 1.
You see that Hundor really wanted to push the lane right there, and they have gotten quite a bit of damage on that turret. But the thing is that when he's alone, Saw is just so vulnerable. He's so immobile. When he spins up fully, it reduces his mobility so much, and he needs these vanguards to be able to get out of sticky situations.
Oh, he's backed underneath his own turret right now. Keanu's extremely low also, but does have the passive of the fountain to actually regenerate some HP. Tara's making his way towards the lane. Dark Potato doing the same as well. Those Munions are going to start stacking up as he's almost completed that Shatter Glass, which you can imagine is going to be the first item on board. Hundor takes a one-shot, one-kill as well. SK, they're coming in this game strong. They know where the strengths of G2 are, and it's Hundor in that lane, so punishing him at every opportunity.
Every time they see him, they're just trying to attack. Good target prioritization coming out of SK right now, and the Shatter Glass is just picked up. I've noticed that Hegman has been constantly filling up on minion candies. He's sitting with 3 actually in his inventory right now. They need to keep doing this. They're doing a really good job of it so far, pressuring the lane over and over again. If they make these minions tankier, give them more health, give them more damage, then they're going to push the lane further and not give Hundor the opportunity to get closer to the SK turrets.
I mean, that's an extremely good thing to stop a store actually getting to the turret, because guess what happens after a couple of seconds? They end up destroying the turret almost instantly. You can see how much damage it is on already, and Hundor really wanting to push forward. Has got Sora Blade, has got the Book of Eulogies of the Sustained. Dark Potato is coming in with a Winter Spire to Tyrus just trampolines out the way. Now, SK, they've got a lot of ways to disengage as well. No forms of real massive CC apart from the active camo trap, but they've got that big bright bulwark to stop Dark Potato going in. Keanu and Hundor just taking the brunt of this Glimmer Shot damage. Kvalifar, he's on point with his Glimmer Shots right now.
Yeah, he is. If you look at Hegman, actually, too, he does have his Crucible available to him, as opposed to going for the Fountain first item. Doing that allows for that base health to be higher, and therefore the HP ratio for those Imperial Sigils are much, much higher. And it's great for him to be doing that, especially when you can get a few of those out during an extended team fight. Hundor, yeah, he's got that Book of Eulogies. It looks like he's
suppressing fire. Gauntlet comes out. Kvalifar trapped in there. He's going to block it. The reflex block, and the Sigil is going to heal him up. Hundor in the backline still extremely low, just trying to clear the minions because Keanu is going extremely low. One shot, one kill. Will find Dark Potato. Passageway from Hegman. Tried to get the last basic attack onto Keanu or Hundor, but it's Dark Potato they really wanted. Kvalifar finds the Glimmer Shot, and he finds his second kill of the game.
Just a few minutes ago, Jaws, there was actually a gold lead for G2, but now SK has just been getting more kills, and they're going to be taking this turret too. That's going to swing the gold so much in their favor now. It's about 1,000 gold in the lead, but they were a little under 1,000 in the deficit. Good for them. Hegman just picked up Fountain and more minion candy. He's just going to continuously feed these minions over and over again in the lane.
Man, they're going to have to see the dentist after the amount of candies they've been feeding him, and that's not something you see every day. Sean Ostino, let's not lie to ourselves, and let's think back with the last time you've ever seen a Soul composition not take the first turret in the game. Honestly, I can't remember one, but fantastic play from Hegman and Tyrus. The amount of disengage and the poke that they have, they played around it perfectly. The engage came through from Dark Potato, completely denied by the Bright Bulwark, and then you have Kvalifar just ripping through people with the Glimmer Shots, and you can see them doing that just now. Both teams flaring each other out as G2 tried to start that gold miner, but with zero priority in this jungle, it seems, especially when it comes to vision. They're going to have a tough time doing so.
We have nearly identical items for the weapon power items coming out for both Kvalifar and Hundor at this moment. Sorrow Blade, Book of Eulogy still in their inventory, and the Tyrant's Monocle, so they can both hit with a lot of crit damage here too, and they're going to really hurt. But the thing is, we have both the junglers with a lot of harass, and here we go.
That's a lot of harass. There's the one-shot, one-killer as well for harass, but Keanu has got the full the metal jacket to tank up a lot of those Glimmer Shots to start off with. Hundor taking one too many Glimmer Shots. Keanu trying to tank them up in the front line, but he takes a little bit too much damage. Hundor now using that roadie run to get out of dodge, although SK looking to find Dark Potato. He dashes forward, but didn't spot Kvalifar, and he finds himself yet another kill. SK, they tried to chase with a passageway, but it is looking sunny side up for them right now. 4-1, and they're going to go straight to that gold miner.
It's looking like a very sunny morning on the Halcyon Fold, Jaws. SK turning their attention to the gold miner here. I feel like Kvalifar, every time he's in these team fights, he's actually being ignored. He actually went around the north side of that team fight, and he was able to rain down Glimmer Shots like nobody's business. But the thing is, he ran out of Glimmer Shots, and that reduced his damage output. He was focusing on just getting some auto attacks off. Once he got another Glimmer Shot up, he was able to take out Dark Potato.
Hondo wants to set up his immobile turret, but Tyro's going to jump forward using the trampoline and find another kill with the Munions. SK refusing to let Hondo do anything in this game. He's going to go back to the base, and G2 running for their lives as Cavalifar is going to be able to clear out some of those minions. With the first gold miner going over to them as well, that's going to be a massive gold bounty. They're even starting up the Crystal Sentry.
Yeah, they're starting that up. If you actually look over at the inventories here, there goes the Crystal Sentry over to SK. Dark Potato and Hunter both have infusions that are level 8 burning out at the moment. So I feel like that may have not been the best thing. Sure, they're trying to get an early edge in the game. We are sitting at 11 minutes into this game right now. But I feel like that extra gold, that 500 extra gold, could have gone towards some better itemization and just improving their tier 3 items that they have. But the turret's going to go down now.
Yeah, G2 are going to punish SK when they did back off after that Crystal Sentry and take their first turret of the game. They're evening the turret deficit. However, Eggman, like you were mentioning earlier, is stacking up on those minion candies, so they're going to be able to push the lane a lot quicker and actually hold the lane as well against Hundor's Wrath. Speaking about Hundor's Wrath, suppressing fire does open up on Tyros, dropped to about half HP. Right Bulwark stops the engagement of Dark Potato and Keanu for the time being. Cavalifar using that range advantage, but the gauntlet comes down straight on top of him. He's going to block it with the reflex block. Even the active camo trap found Keanu. Keanu going extremely low. One shot, one kill. Won't quite find him. In fact, only tags Dark Potato. Hundor still healthy in the front line, but without his tanky front line, he's going to have to back off rather quickly. And SK still looking for an engagement. There's the portal into the Bright Bulwark. Suppressing fire opens up, not doing a whole lot of damage, but he's completely spun up right now. Fountain for SK, still looking to disengage as Hundor uses that roadie run to just get out of there as quick as he can. Dark Potato running away with that fortified HP. SK refusing to step off the gas, even find another couple of glimmer shots on Hundor and take the Crystal Sentry for the second time.
That's another delicious Crystal Sentry for SK's troubles. They got punished there with losing their own turret, but they're coming back and they're still not letting off the gas, just like you were saying. It looks like they're going to take the gold mine too, uncontested, because all of the members of G2 are still in their base, buying up items, doing what they can to recover from that last team fight. They didn't lose anybody in that last team fight in the jungle, but they were so low on health, they might as well have been dead. We do see some Journey Boots coming out for Dark Potato, so that's going to allow him to really engage into these team fights here and just poke even further. We know that Rhyme wants to get on top of everybody in the team fights. He wants to throw out those Winter Spires, get that extra bonus damage from hitting him again. He wants to root people up with his chill wins, and doing that, it's going to make it easier for Hundor to hit these targets with his suppressing fire, with his auto attacks, which are just going to do so much damage once he's spun up. But the thing is, they've got to have Hundor survive. Look at him. He's sitting at 0 and 2 right now in these team fights. And it's a really difficult thing for him to be able to kill any members of SK if he's constantly being killed himself.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, SK did run into G2 and they ended up losing out to them. And I can assure you that they've probably forgotten about that moment. Come in fresh-faced and fresh-minded and just making sure they play to their best potential. And that's exactly what they're showing us right now. But Hundor opening up that suppressing fire. Cavalifar poking away those glimmer shots. Journey Boots activated for Dark Potato. He finds the root on Cavalifar. This is the perfect time they wanted to fight. Gauntlet comes down as well. And that's Cavalifar falling, biting the dust. Hundor just chunking away at Tyros. Has to use that trampoline to get away. But the Munions and the spontaneous combustion will trade 1 for 1.
Oh my goodness, Cavalifar did go down during that fight though, but so did Hundor. So both the high damage carry were taken out of the picture. It was a really unfortunate thing that the Crucible wasn't timed appropriately for Cavalifar to actually exit through the gauntlet wall to the south. Because he got stunned up and then he just got deleted afterwards. So we've got to see Hegman really prioritizing when to use that Crucible best to be able to protect Cavalifar, because Cavalifar is the main damage output here. We do see 3 kills on Tyres, and he's doing a lot of work as well, especially with those Munions. He's able to harass so much. He's got Dragon's Eye as well, so he's going to be able to stack up a lot of damage. Working on the Broken Myth, it looks like, to be able to bypass some of the shielding. We don't see that much shielding on the side of G2, so they're going to have to pick up something to protect themselves against Tyres, but it's a really difficult situation here, and it looks like SK's looking to fight.
Yeah, they're looking to push this turret for the time being. Hundor has got that double monocle, but so does Kavalifar. Look at the damage he just does to Tyra's. A couple of basic attacks, but that will be healed up. A Dark Potato comes in with a journey boost. Nice bright ball to get them out of there. Valkyrie came down as well, but it is going to get blocked by Hangman. Kavalifar pushing forward. Keanu very weak at this point in time. Nice route actually does land to Hangman, but Kavalifar is already in the back line. In fact, has to reposition himself with the boost. Gauntlet straight on top of Tyros, trapping him in place. Uses that to get out of the way. That reflex block was perfectly timed, but it was a little bit too late as Keanu does take the kill. G2 now, finding one, are going to be able to chop this lane.
Oh, that one shot, one kill hits Kiana Nakoa. But he's just so tanky right now as this Arden. He hasn't died yet, but check this out, Jaws. He actually has more kills than Hundor and Dark Potato put together at this moment. Kiana Nakoa is doing a lot of work with his hitting and punching and blood for bloods all over the place, man. SK turning their attention to, actually G2 turning their attention on the Kraken, and it looks like they're taking this in quick fashion.
Well, yeah, look how fast they take it. We got to respect Hundor damage, but will we see another Captain steal? Oh, not quite. Eggman triggering the sigil, but it didn't quite land. G2 now have the Kraken on board, and this is the scary thing, especially with a Saw. You come up against Saw when he's completely spun up next to your turret trying to take it, you're going to find your face full of lead. And with that Kraken as well marching down the lane, you've got two big targets, two big priority targets you want to take down ASAP. But needless we forget here, Sean, Tyrus, Kavalifar, they got a couple of kills each. In fact, Tyrus has got that Broken Myth online now as well. It's going to be very easy for them to take down this Kraken rather quickly.
I must say this game has been really back and forth, actually more leaning towards SK, but now that Kraken is on the leash, this is a fourth very tanky member of G2 that is just coming to this choke point turret. These are going to be really difficult, and they need to be played very carefully by both these teams right now.
Valifar taken so low by the Winter Spire, even accidentally walks back into one. Gauntlet will come out. Trampoline just stops Tyrus, but they're not going after him. They're trying to hunt down Kavalifar. Active Camo stun 3 people on G2. They end up having to back away. They still have to deal with that Kraken, however, and the regeneration is in favor of SK. Using those sigils, they're going to focus down that Kraken. In fact, Kavalifar taking chunks out of Keanu, but Tyrus going extremely low. Hundor kiting forward, finds the petal, and they will be able to take down the first turret. Kavalifar kiting backwards. Keanu going extremely low. They find one. Valkyrie gets dodged out, but that second turret will fall as well. And Hundor just rips apart Kavalifar. They're going to be able to take game number 1. Hundor just absolutely came in clutch at the end. The crystal explodes in what seemed to be an SK game to start that one off.
What an amazing first game here in EU today, Jaws. G2 taking it to the objectives push. They did what they needed to do. They went with their win conditions here, which is just, you can't just kill SK. You've got to push the turrets. You've got to push the objectives. And doing so, they ended up taking the Kraken. And with one push, taking down 4 turrets. That is exactly what Saw does. Saw do push.
The amount of one Kraken pushes we've seen over the last couple of days is actually insane, and G2 continue that trend. No captain steals came through, unfortunately, but Hundor had no kills until the